Hello there everyone, Cameron Craft here, and welcome to my annual end of the year video that I haven't done in over a year. Let me be completely honest, the last video I made for this series was a disgrace. I made the whole thing in one day, and I was completely sleep deprived the whole time. Like, what was this? So I decided to start this one a little bit earlier. Let's see. Yep, 2 days in advance. I'm slowly improving. In case you're new here, let me go ahead and explain what I plan to do. I'm going to be reviewing all the games I've played over the year of 2022. I'll be going through all the games I've played, one by one, discussing all their flaws and everything I love about them. At the end of the video, I'll list my top 3 best games and my top 3 worst games. And without further ado, let's get into the rules. Rule number 1. If I've already made a Let's Play on the game, then it will not be on this list. This means games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Naruto Shinobi Striker, Dauntless, and all the games I've played on my Mobile Monday series will not be on this list. They can, however, be at the list at the end of the video. Rule number 2. Doesn't matter how old the game is, as long as I've played it in 2022. This way I can talk about a variety of games from different eras. And so I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars buying all the new games because those are expensive and I am broke. And the third and final rule, the games must have some type of story for it to be reviewed on this list. I believe a great story is a part of what makes a great game, so I think it's very important that we talk about them in the discussion along with the games they are part of. And with that out of the way, let's talk about all the games I've played in 2022. Let's start off with Overwatch 2. Let me ask you a question. Why is there a Overwatch 2? There is no difference between the first one and the second one. The gameplay is the same. The graphics are the same. The story is the same. Now, I'll be fair, there are some improvements. Instead of having 5 players for each game, there are 4, which means that now the game is a little bit more balanced. And there are 3 more characters. Wow! I don't know why they made an Overwatch 2 if they weren't going to make any major improvements. There were so many cool things they could have done with this new game. But you know what? It's Blizzard. Quality really isn't their thing. Speaking of quality, let's talk about Balan Wonderworld. Let me start off by saying that this game was such a disappointment. This game has so much potential and a lot of talent behind it also. Video game legend Yuji Naka, aka the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, worked on this game. How could you fail? Okay, let's start off with the story. Is what I would say if I knew what it was. No joke. I had to pull all the stuff I'm about to say off of Wikipedia, aka the place you never go to for information. Okay, let's read this sucker. Balan Wonderworld takes place in a Balan Theater, a magical realm overseen by a mystical being called Balan. Balan Theaters appear when hearts lose balance and connects to Wonderworld. And did I mention Square Enix made this? 2 children who have lost their way are drawn to this theater by Balan after losing their way, aka kidnapping, my favorite federal offense. Now they must journey through the multiple worlds while singing, dancing, and having a good time, unlike the person playing the game. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay. All of the game mechanics are so junky. To be able to fight, you have to get these costumes, right? And let's be honest, most of them suck. Most of them you can only use in certain situations, and sometimes you can't even control when to use the ability you need to fight, which makes it hard to engage in combat. Imagine if in Sonic the Hedgehog, the game randomly chose when to let you run fast. Wouldn't it make it pretty difficult? The best part about this game are the boss fight, mainly because of their design. You know what? That statement can describe most of this game. Very pretty, but nothing of value underneath. Oh, brother, this game is awful. Okay, I need something really good to watch this taste out my mouth. What game is next on my list? Oh, God! Sonic Forces is by far the worst Sonic game I've ever played. You know why? Because it's the worst type of bad. It's boring. At least with other bad Sonic games like Sonic 06 or Sonic and the Secret Rings, there was some enjoyment that came from the buzz, the weird story elements, and the pretty good cutscenes. But Forces has none of that. It's just plain and basic, like white bread. This is Sonic Forces, in an unsalted, flavorless nutshell. The story is actually pretty interesting. All of Sonic's old foes are suddenly back, and along with a new villain named Infinite, they presumably kill Sonic and the world is thrown to chaos. Huh? Get it? Chaos? I'm hilarious. Now the world needs a new hero, and that new hero is you! You can customize your own character, which is a pretty neat thing that they've added in the Sonic game. It's never been done before. And that's it. That's where the compliments end. This gameplay is so lame. It's the same classic modern Sonic running stages with the added factor of the OP boost tool. Once you get enough rings, you can just boost through the entire level, which makes playing the game, you guessed it, not fun. The bosses are jokes too. Once you get enough rings, you can just blast through all the obstacles. Okay, you know what? I'm done. I need to talk about a good Sega game now. And I have just the one with Persona 5 Strikers. This game is just what I need after talking about the other two. You play as insert protagonist name here, on his way back to his hometown for a summer vacation. After reuniting with his old friends, you all decide to go camping. But right when you and your pals are getting some supplies, something weird starts to happen when, oh my god, it's Joker! It's the dude from Smash Bros! Anyways, now you and your ragtag group of teenage protagonists have to discover the mystery of this new location in the metaverse. And this game is awesome. Instead of the usual turn-based style, it tries a new beat 'em up style, which is so fun. And the ability to pause the game and choose your next move is a great way to pay homage to the original series. With a fresh new style and some familiar elements, I'm confident in saying that this game is one heck of a good time. Unlike Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. Okay, everything in this game is basically the same as what I said about Storm 4. Like, literally the same. The story is just the first season of the anime, and because I don't want to spoil that for people, I won't be saying it here. If you want to know, go watch the anime. Honestly, this game is just everything wrong with current anime video games. Because they're all bloody arena fighters. Which, I mean, would be fine. If, one, they weren't all just Storm 4, and two, if being an arena fighter fits the anime. Naruto worked as an arena fighter because that's what the series was best known for. Its close-up martial arts battles between shinobis and edgelords. But after the success of the series, it feels like every anime is getting an arena fighter. My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, freaking Kill La Kill. And Demon Slayer is the perfect example. It doesn't fit as an arena fighter as well as Naruto did, and it leads to a pretty mediocre experience. It's not the worst thing in the world. I definitely imagine myself having a fun time with it, and I have had a fun time with it. It just sucks that we had to get another Storm 4 clone, especially when the series had so much potential to do a different type of game. I have nothing else to say. Well, let's just go to the next one. Kingdom Hearts 1. Okay, quick little side story. I actually played Kingdom Hearts 3 before I played Kingdom Hearts 1, mainly due to the fact that the game was on sale, I bought it, and I've always wanted to get into the series. And let me say, going from 3 to 1 was one of the most jarring experiences of my life. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about the story, because in the first game, it's actually pretty simple. You play as a young boy named Sora, and along with his two friends Riku and Kairi, dream of one day going to the world beyond their own. But one day, when a mysterious evil creature called the Heartless invades Sora's home, he suddenly gains the ability to wield a sword called the Keyblade, and fends off the Heartless. But sadly, his friends are lost, and I guess the multiverse? They never really explain what the worlds are. Are they planets? Okay, who knows? So along with Goofy and Donald Duck, that's right, the Disney characters, Sora vows to find his friends and return home. The combat system in this game is kind of horrible, mainly due to the fact that to be able to fight, you have to use a basic three-hit combo, and when you're in the air, you can only do a one-hit combo. The game requires a much better understanding of the magical system than Kingdom Hearts 3 does. But at the same time, I definitely understand why this was. Canonically, Sora is not that skilled of a fighter yet, so it makes sense. And honestly, I can forgive most of the game's flaws because of how charming it is. This whole game, I mean, down to the graphics and Disney characters, not to mention the young Sora's voice actor being so strong, it's just perfect. I really love this game. And finally, to end it all off, we have Sora Online Alphavation Licorice. And I can confidently say that this game is a strange experience. Once again, let's start with the story, and because it's basically just a search for the anime, I won't spoil too much, but there are a lot of weird twists along the way. You meet this random redhead girl who doesn't remember much, and when you offer to help her, she runs away, and eventually you meet her again, and it leads to a very strange subplot, which kind of describes the big flaw I have with this game. The consistently tries to balance having its own original story and combining what people love about Season 3 into its own story, which leads to a pretty weird experience. Instead of just having an original story or just following the anime, they try to do both, and it kind of hurts the overall project. Which leads me to my controversial statement about this game. This game is a terrible Sword Art Online game. That has an RPG, it's pretty good. If you're into games like World of Warcraft or Star Wars The Old Republic, then you'll definitely enjoy the combat system, the very fun weapon and crafting system. Everything in the game is very unique and engaging. And on top of that, they give you a really cool, unique, free roaming aspect that other Sword Art Online games haven't fully mastered yet. It's honestly really fun. I suggest it to anyone who likes playing classical type RPGs, but I probably wouldn't suggest it to any big Sword Art Online fans. Alright, everyone, we've talked about games I've played. Now it's time for me to list my top 3 best and top 3 worst. And let's start this list off with the third worst, which is Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. A kind of fun game, but ruined by the fact of it being an arena fighter. This game should not have been that. I would have been up for maybe a 2D classical fighter like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but at the end of the day, it's still somewhat enjoyable so that's why it's at the bottom of this list. Third best is Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris, a very fun game and amusing RPG which I would definitely recommend to my fellow RPG loving gamers, but sadly, due to its inaccuracies to the original source material, I'm putting it at the bottom of this list. Second worst, Sonic Forces. Just an overall very boring experience, and honestly, that's all I can find to say about it. Second best, Kingdom Hearts 1. What can I say? It's a classic. It's beloved by millions, and whoever says otherwise clearly doesn't have the whimsy to enjoy both the Disney movies and this corny RPG. And the worst game I've played this year is Balan Wonderworld. It's buggy, it's lame, the story makes no sense, and on top of everything, it wasted some pretty good talent. So, boo to you, Balan Wonderworld. Yuji Naka deserves better. And the best game I've played this year is Persona 5 Strikers, a very engaging take on the original series, combined with good story, amazing voice actors, and beautiful graphics, makes this the best game I've played this year. And that's everything. 2022 has come to a close. I want to thank you all for sticking around to the end of the video, and also thank you all for supporting me over the last couple of months. YouTube has become such a fun experience. I've made so many new friends on top of everything. I've hopefully got to entertain a couple of you guys. So, in the name of Captain America, for the last time in 2022, Asaku Ajaku. Bye.